Yeah, you know what it is. It's your boy Kaden for you, and you're now rocking with Hip-Hop Bahamas.
Alright, we are back with another interview today. We here with the infamous icon, BahamianTrae.
What's going on, brother? What's
you
going
doing?
on? Everything good, babe, right, Chad, dog? Just continuing to keep it on, you see?
Yeah, so we at the More 94 studio today. You work here?
Yeah, bro, you see, this the superstation, right, Chad? I've been working here now for, since like February, but I first started to do like training at the ending of January, so in the beginning of February.
So if
like
people ask where Trae been, this where you at?
Yeah, I've been here. And between the theaters and all, like, you know, the Dundas Theater, I've did some acting. Just recently I did 2 plays in the space of a year, I believe. Yeah. Okay. It was a play called Struggles and Dreams. Shout out to Janico Pratt and Valiant Rule. And it was another play I did with Raquel Rule. It's crazy how the rules are on right now. But what was it? What was the name of this? I can't remember it, but it was just recently. It was a play, like it was a family play. It was like a more adult kind of storyline and everything about. It was about this guy who was crippled and dealing with family issues because he was dealing with like self-esteem. He was trying to bring himself back and stuff, and it just was like a whole storyline about it. And I had a really fun role in it too, so it was cool. And it differentiated from the both roles that I had in each play.
Was acting always something you wanted to get into?
Actually, yeah, because all of the real BahamianTrae fans would know that name and that title first was added to my Vine account around the time when Vine used to be popular. I used to make Vines and stuff like that, and some of them still around. I deleted a lot of them because like I was really self-conscious, and I didn't feel like a lot of the stuff was funny. And like when I did it, after I started doing music, I was like, I don't know if I really want to have these out, so I just was like, delete. And then I delete a lot of them, and after I got finished with the Vine stuff, I went to music.
Okay, no, that ain't bad. So for people that may not know exactly who are, if you had to give people a kind of summary of who BahamianTrae is, what could you tell them?
BahamianTrae is at the moment young artist that is aspiring to represent his country in the best of his ability and to inspire the youth and even the adults as it relates to, if it's entertainment, if it's anything. I just my purpose and I feel like my purpose and my aim is to motivate and inspire and to, you know, just add to the culture, because I feel like that's anybody's duty when it comes to if you represent yourself as a artist or any creative, you know what I mean? Most like especially like you guys, like, you know, there's a responsibility, even if unsaid, for y'all to carry out the culture. You see what I'm saying?
Most definitely. With that being said about how you want to, no matter which one you want to inspire and you want to be able to motivate people, do you kind of take credit a bit for the almost style of rapping that we see a lot of Bahamians logging on to today?
I can't take credit, but
I
can't take credit. I mean, I could take a credit to say I may have motivated a lot of the ones that came after me, but I listened to people that did it before, and I would have to say big shout outs to Papa Smurf, because he's one of my mentors, and, you know, I have his number. We speak from time to time, and if you know Papa Smurf music, he's straight out dialect, bro. She's my yellow I miss the Poinciana. Like, we know about Stop, Look, Listen and all of those. You know, these are the songs that I remember listening to in primary school. At the time I would been like going in grade 1 or 2, going to school hearing these songs on the radio, and it was stuff like that motivated me. And also, believe it or not, a lot of people don't like to give the credit where it's due, but guess what? I would say open-heartedly that, but Father Fertile was actually one of the people that motivated me as well, because and along with Panza, because they were the ones when I was in junior school. It was songs like I Don't Like Man and Hungry Cut Up, but that had the whole junior school ramping. You know what I mean? Everybody used to sing it, still know it word for word, and it made it motivated also like a culture within the school to start the rap battling.
Right.
And trust me, that used to be so live in school, but like that, you know, and guess what? I know, like, unintentionally we just used our dialects. And I can't say that, I use my dialect, but that ain't because of, I can't say it ain't because of Fredo, because what if he never dropped that song? I might have never had some kind of inspiration to try that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Same thing with Papa Smurf. If Papa Smurf never came around, or even, let's go even further for a lot of the older viewers who are going to be viewing overseas, but by them, that's way in the 90s, these dudes was rapping straight dialect. I gotta let y'all hear one of their songs when we finish, but straight dialect. I ain't know about them particularly, but it's other people who was definitely before me who was doing that.
That's cool.
If you want to say start, I go to someone who way before.
Okay, so with your success coming from it though, how did you feel really when it came about? Because it sounded like before you even got into it, you was a big fan of it. You know what I'm saying? Before you even got into, so for it to blow off for you, it must have been something real good, man.
But it's overwhelming, and even while we doing this right now, like I feeling like this like this feeling in my heart, because like this is the kind of stuff that I've been dreaming about, you know, and it was just an overwhelming feeling to see the success, especially at a young age, because I started music officially. I'd say I wrote Muggle when I was 14.
14.
I was 14 years old at the time. It was around in December of 2014 going into 15. And my birthday is in January 26. I dropped the song January 14. So yeah, that was out, and I wrote it when I was only 14.
With Muggle, was there like a concrete plan behind it? Was there like, we gonna distribute this, we gonna whatever, because we know, or this is mine, I drop in the song, and whatever do it do?
Nope. Let me show you how like God is just so real. Like I remember it was a time I was going through a lot at the time. You know, I was living with my aunt. So my aunt's husband at the time, with my peoples, as in my parents, because she passed away, and we were staying at their house and stuff. And I remember it was one day. I don't even tell this story that much, but it was one day.
You got an exclusive right now. We got an exclusive
real,
coming up.
like I remember I was coming from school one day, and I hate to tell this story, right? But let's just say the environment at the time wasn't the best. You know what I mean? It wasn't the best. And I remember it was one day I was coming from school. I used to catch the bus at the time, and I was coming from school, but it was a nice sunny day coming from school, you know. But and I still live in the eastern area. At the time, that was in the east as well, like around the prison area. So as we was passing the prison on the bus, I remember, like, it was like I say, nice sunny day, but as soon as like we almost got past the prison, because I would get off at the bus stop with my checkers. As soon as I get close to that bus stop, I just remember it just stopped pouring rain, bro. Pouring rain, like it was like thunderstorms. And for those who know of Joe Finery Road, you know Joe Finery Road is a long stretch, and I at the time at almost like the end of the stretch. So you could say at least almost like a 10-15 minute walk I had to do in the rain with my bag on my back, with all my clothes. And at the time, I just was like, boy, why, Dread? Because believe it or not, in that moment and stuff, like I didn't have to be going through what I was going through. You see what I'm saying? Especially with the fact, like just the simple fact that I didn't have to be walking, you know what I mean? Because my people, my uncle, he could have picked me up, but it was times where it just, I guess, wasn't on his radar to say, okay, we going for Trae or whatever, blah blah blah. But I just remember walking in the rain, and I was praying, dog. I just was praying, talking to God, like, you know, to just bring opportunities for my life and just to, you know, help.
Right.
And but if I'm not mistaken, that day, I remember coming inside. I remember it clear. My mommy saw me when I came in the door. She was like, "Oh, you get wet in the rain, eh?" I was like, "Yeah." Like, you know, like when like when your parents know the answer to a question, but like they just don't know what even to say, because she knew, even seeing me, that he didn't have to be walking, but my boy get wet in the rain. So she just, you know, she was like, "Yeah, we're in the rain." And I was like, "Yeah." You know, I just came inside, changed my clothes, and I remember my cousin, he had this laptop, and at the time I had a Samsung Y, And I went on the laptop, gone on YouTube, was just looking through a bunch of different beats on YouTube, and I scrolled across the Bam Bam rhythm. Dun, 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 dun. And wait, I still have the book to this day where I wrote those lyrics, and straight through, bro, you could look at it, I must see scotch out one word, straight through, gone and dancing what I see, and I just wrote it and recorded as a WhatsApp voice note with my Samsung Y, and took that audio. Shout out to DJ Sean. He took the audio and put the instrumental to it to make it sound louder. Yeah. Because imagine a voice note with just, it would have sounded dead low, but he put the instrumental to the voice note to make it sound louder. And that was the first audio that people heard of Muggle. You see what I'm saying? And that's the video that surfaced around WhatsApp. I did get a little Viva video. You remember that Viva video? I took the video, posted on Facebook, started to surface around, and like, but in the midst of like weeks. Weeks, not even month, Yeah. Weeks. Because remember I said January 14th, I drop it. We had a sports day that same month, and I could show you the video where people were singing that word for word. Bro. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? And all of it to come together. I'll even tell you how that happened. I almost didn't do it. I almost didn't perform because I was like, wait, I remember my boy, shout out to my boy Michael. We was at sports day, and my old teacher, my old science teacher, Mr. Sterling, he wanted me to perform the song because I let him hear it too. And he still supported and stuff like that. He just hit me up the other day, and he wanted me to perform it, and I gone to Michael, and I was like, but I don't really think I would do it. And they're talking about big bogey in front of all these teachers and and I was like, I don't know if I could do it. And he was like, yeah, but just go do it, dog, or whatever like that, blah blah blah. And I was like, alright then, go on now, get the mic, and I do it. In that same video, my managers ended up seeing, and I remember he hit me up, shout out to Reality. He hit me up, and I remember him messaging me, and he was like, hey, I'm Reality from 100 Jams. But and I wanna speak to you because Reality worked along with the CEO the CEO of Exile. They worked together with Exile. So he hit me up, and he was like, hey, we got this thing that we're creating, and I want to talk to you or whatever like that on a business level and blah blah blah. And I went to a station, and we just keep in mind that I'm not like affiliated. I wasn't affiliated with 100 Jams. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, I hit him up, meet up at the station, and we spoke, and he showed me the contract and everything. I took it back, showed it to my peoples, and I let some official people look at it. And I personally, it wasn't nothing too outrageous where I wouldn't be able to grasp an understanding of it. I read it a few times myself, even though like words might trick you and stuff that. I have an A in the English BJC. Like, I love English. I love English as a subject, everything like that. So I understood it to an extent, and then also after being even more informed from talking to the official people that I allowed to look at it and stuff. So I was pleased with the contract. There's nothing wrong with the contract. It was an artist development contract. We agreed to certain things and stuff like that, and it was like a yearly thing. So it started in 2015 in the summer, but I could remember the first time the song played on the radio. Like, I was sweaty. I was like, I wonder if people could like the song. From the day it played, it was just being requested every day afterwards, and that was.
Because what's crazy is like, so we get that, it was a quick transition, but how deep was it? Like, how much did it change your life? Because you talked about having to walk home from school and whatever. How much of a change did this song do for you coming up? Like, you went from being what to what?
Okay, I would say I didn't go from rags to riches or anything like that, but I would say I went from unconscious to conscious. You know why? Because I asked God for opportunity. I asked him to intervene in my life, and this is the opportunity that he brought forth to me, and there is so much things that I've learned from being in this industry, from being able to come across great people who were able to give me so much wisdom, so much great things, and you know what I mean, just like, but for me, a word is just as valuable as, you know what I mean.
Right.
Better yet, the like certain words from people, you can't put a price on it. You know what I mean? Like to be able to speak to someone like Napoleon Hill right now, you can't put a price on it. But guess what? That the value is above. You know what I mean? Even like if you had a chance to speak with someone like Bob Marley, or for people who have spoken to these people, they wouldn't even they'd tell you, but I wouldn't even know how much money I'd pay, because there's no feasible, you know what I mean, price I could put to this. And but getting into the music industry, it changed me as a person, because it made me more, believe it or not, it made me humble. Because at first, I ain't gonna lie, I didn't have much friends when I came into the music industry, and to see just a bunch of people now being more accepting to me, or like strangers just, you know what I mean? It did something to me in a way where I just was like, I almost got, like, I was in the middle of being accepting and also being in like, hold on, why do you even like me? Because they're so, like, I could go in my chat right now and think of the amount of females that used to hit me up on some stuff, like making it seem like they love me and things say that, but it's like, but you don't even know my real name, babe. By the way, my real name is Trae. Like, people don't even know that, babe. Like, that's my real name. So it's like, they didn't even have these basic knowledge about me, but they were giving me like this feeling. So it was like, babe, I remember when I first came to the thought and the realization after going into the music, I was like, babe, it's gonna be really hard when it comes to relationships, because I don't know if they are gonna love Trae or Trae. I don't know if they're gonna love Trae or Trae, because you know BahamianTrae, but you don't know who I really am. And that was the same thing even with friendships. And it was hard to trust people, it was hard to trust relationships, and that made me kind of standoffish while, you know, just going through so much. Because, but imagine now me explaining this to you as a 16-year-old or a 15-year-old, you know what I mean? Trying to learn and trying to get used to the new norm, like when it comes to dating. Like, I was just getting this was all fairly new to me. So moving forward now, like as a 16, 17-year-old, I matured very quickly when as it relates to, you know, how I conducted myself and how I carry myself, you know, it's all owed to, of course, my parents and also the management, because they made sure and instill in me a lot of the knowledge that I needed in order to, you know what I mean, keep on going and have the longevity and stuff like that. So yeah, it changed me, because I could say the way that I'm having this conversation with you right now, I don't think I'd have been having this kind of in-depth conversation with you at 16 or 15 years old. So even and even now as a 20-year-old, I feel like I'm further than the age of 20. So it's like, but I don't think anything else would do this for me other than like music.
Right. Do you feel a certain amount of pressure in how you have to conduct yourself now, knowing that there are people, not even just youth, there are adults that know about you, so many that know who, especially BahamianTrae, is who wants to bring you in for their child's birthday party, who wants you to come in and do certain things? Do you feel like a certain amount of pressure that people may have on you to be like this type of person that you may not be, because like you said, most people don't know your real name? Right.
It is a certain pressure. It is a certain pressure, but the good thing about it is I'm an outgoing person. Like I'm even more so now able to have a conversation with a complete stranger. So it wasn't like no pressure when it came to pictures or meeting new people or anything like that. But it will be a lot of pressure as it relates to people feeling as if, oh, like you're supposed to be perfect, because nobody is, but nobody is. It's like there are faults about me that people may not agree with, and there's things about you that I might not agree with. But I'm not going to like. I'm a person that upholds my integrity and everything like that. So it's not like I just be wilding, and then when I go inside the public, I put on this facade. Like, no, the what you see is what you really get, and I don't put on. You know what I mean? But this is really me. I really, you know, I really just am this kind of person, and I go off of energy and vibes. If I
Yeah.
feel you, then if I feel like we could have a conversation, or if you give me that energy and that vibe, then we having that conversation. You see what I'm saying? It's that kind of thing.
Yeah. So, how you said with now that being mature and all the different girls, I'm almost positive that we see now that you have a girlfriend. That,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
You post even frequently. You know, when you post it seems very genuine or whatever. So like
Yeah.
now, how do you balance all that in and bring that to actually accept it as a party, like to say, you know what, bro, I trust her, and you know, I'm gonna look past to say that if she was here for that or whatever, and you're confident that it's what it seems to be.
Like I'd owe it all to her, babe, because listen, like it like when it comes to love, babe, I'd say it really is all up to the individual. Like I wouldn't be the type of person to say, oh, forget love and be single or do what you gotta do for the rest of your life. Like no, there's gonna be someone that is going to come into your life that's gonna make you feel so secure, so assured to, if you really feel like, is this person really for me or not? Like no, she gives me that reassurance. She gives me that, that security to feel like, yeah, she down. Right. So it's like, I love her so much, babe. I love her so much, and I want people to know that this is my girl and stuff like that, because she's going to be my wife. So that's how I look at it, and I ain't ever got no kind of feeling like this in a relationship from anybody else, dog. Like, and the times when she was there, she just, like, I could go on and on. Trust me, we'll make this interview about her if I go on and on. But I love her so much, dog.
That's true.
She just there, so it's like nothing to show that love, express that love, and she definitely down, bro. I know that one down.
You work with Ronnie Butler.
Yeah.
How was that?
But it was an indeed a privilege. I didn't actually get to be in studio with Ronnie, but it was most indeed a privilege, because we got a chance to perform together, and I actually got a chance to like speak with him in person, because around the time when Hurricane Machu, I think that was 2017, Hurricane Machu, and we were in the same hotel because my dad stays at Malia. My dad works at Malia, so we were staying at the hotel at the time during the hurricane, and I remember seeing him, and I was like, hey, it was so cool to be like, hey, that's right, like, having that kind of moment with Ronnie Butler. It was like, I see him, and then he was like, I remember him saying, we have to work on more stuff and stuff.
Yeah.
Like that. I was like,
That's
yeah,
cool,
man. And then like just feeling that love coming from someone like him, but that's a different kind of feeling.
Genuine.
Yeah, man.
On to like a more sensitive topic, because we, as being Bahamians and being so close to the United States, recently we had the whole George Floyd situation.
Yeah.
So as not just a black person, but as a black youth, being so close to the action, how do you feel about what's happening and everything's happening inside the world happening right now?
This is how I feel about the George Floyd situation, and how, as it relates to being linked to us as Bahamians,
right.
We have to realize that we are human. We are not exempted from this whole thing that's going on at all. And to get even more particular, we are also African Americans. The Seminoles who escaped from Florida, who went to Red Bay's Andros, the black Seminoles, those are African Americans, and they were the first settlers on Andros. So, no, your hair ain't silky because you Indian Semin, like from you ain't no Tino, you are not a Lucayan. They got killed off from Christopher Columbus, the same guy who we got standing up in the front of government house, kill them. So, all of us with the dark skin, we come from Africa. We are directly from the Yoruba people. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, what we need to understand is that we have problems as well. We have problems with classism. We have problems with colorism. We have people who are very, very, very xenophobic. Xenophobic means that I don't like this one from this country, or I don't like that one from that country. We have a very, very nasty culture when it comes to how we carry on with the Haitian people, and it should not be like that, especially to the fact that they were the first country that was freed as black people. If it wasn't for them, we might have not had the opportunity to do it, or if it wasn't for them, it might have not been the reason why they fear us. You know what I mean? Because they, even though they shouldn't, but they really got a sense of, okay, they mean business after the Haitians revolution. You see what I'm saying? But we need to realize that, babe, we need to love each other.
Right.
We need to show love to each other. The white people, they need to you know, those who they're trying to be supremacists and stuff like that, they need to come to grips with saying, okay, I take responsibility for my actions. It might have not been me, might have been my granddad or whatever like that, but we need to take responsibility for our actions and just live fairly. And if the higher ups or the powers that be don't want it to be that way, then as black people, we have to find another way to unify. Because guess what? I was thinking the other day, what if all of the Caribbean countries and African countries was one? You know what I mean? If we all, even if we weren't on one line, if we all were linked in some kind of economic way, like how CARICOM and the what's the next body of the United Nations? If we were all united, just like how that is united, then we would have an understanding among each other that, boy, we are all humans. And I'm not saying not to say, oh, all lives matter, because it's all about Black Lives Matter still. But it's all about having an understanding of why are you saying that? Why are you saying Black Lives Matter? Why does Black Lives Matter? Or where am I in this equation with Black Lives Matter? Because I'm black. I came from somewhere. This melanin in my skin has to come from some lineage, and that lineage is indeed Africa. So us as Bahamians, we have to look and we have to stand up now and realize that, wait, we've been through our fair share too. I just spoke with my boss, Galen Sanders. Shout out to Mr. Sanders. And he was telling me his father most like closely to mention him. He was like, you know, that at that time when he was coming up, certain places they couldn't walk in, certain stores they couldn't be, certain parts of the island you couldn't buy property. The Collins Wall that still stands.
Just a few days ago, it was the anniversary of the Burma Road riots.
Just a few days.
Marched for the, you know, they wanted to get paid more, and they were tired of, you know, how
they was trying to pay the Canadians more money than the Bahamian people, and guess what? Don't we have that same problem now where foreigners are being paid more money and these sorts of things? And isn't it where, like, we know of this, so we need to know now that okay, let's cut off this traditional voting thing, because my mommy is a PLP or my mommy is a F&M, I vote in F&M. No, we need to now study more on the current issues and things that happened in the past, so that we'll know how to evaluate our present and our future. Because believe it or not, even you might not plan it one day, but you're may have kids, and they're gonna have to walk amongst other children who are gonna be on this land, and some might be white, some might be black, and the character of those kids depends on what is your character, because you could be teaching them, and you can be teaching them what you were taught. So you got to be careful of what you allow in your mind to be fed, or what you allowing yourself to accept, because I won't ever accept try to treat a Haitian brother or a Jamaican brother the way how people be normally doing it. And guess what? I wouldn't even try to act fake and be like, oh, in school there was in times where I was also one of those people who were in that mix of being one of those people, because I was misinformed. But inform yourself. Get yourself to a level where you want to seek for knowledge, because you ain't gonna find it. It ain't just follow the sky. You have to want to, like, empower yourself with more knowledge so that you could do the things the right way. And but I realized too that you have to, a lot of people don't realize when they're doing something wrong, you know. A lot of people don't think that anything is wrong with them not liking the color of their skin. And how, like they was having a whole big topic on Twitter the other day, how like preference and all of this and all of that. And but there are some people out there in truth and honesty. There are some people out there in truth and honesty that would have a preference to say, oh, I like light skins, but they do their most like very huge effort to just bash people of a different, you know what I mean? Like if a gal have dark skin and big lips, he gotta make fun of her, or you know, just because his preference is this or whatever like that. It's not right, babe. And it's not right. You gotta love yourself.
That all boils down to how you said, like, people are misinformed, and because people don't do the knowledge, they tend to not have the information to know what they're talking about. So it's almost like you have like an anti-Semitism, but for the Bahamas, because you know when you're a Semite, it's just someone for no reason, just someone who doesn't like a Jew. You know what I'm saying? It happens all over the place where you have anti-Semitism and all that stuff. But it really happens over here too, with basically we're Semites towards Haitians or any type of foreigners that come into our country, and we want to treat them a certain way just because of past or whatever, but not knowing the information or why they're here or whatever. So
or what they even been through.
You know what I'm saying? So instead of people think that just because we're in the Bahamas or we're the United States little brother and we're whatever, it doesn't mean we don't have a voice or whatever. But if people in Tokyo can protest and people in Australia and the UK can come together, then we could be a part of that movement as well. And how do you feel about Bahamas standing up and saying something about what's happening? Would you be on the front line of people out there trying to make a difference?
I would. You know why? Because I want to, just like how I'm speaking now, I would want to plead, like I would really want to be one of those people giving off this information because a lot of people are misinformed. And guess what? There are, hopefully, when that day comes, because I don't even want to say if, because the day will come.
Right.
When that day comes, there are going to be a lot of knowledgeable people who are going to be on that front line. And yeah, but I want to be a part of that so that even the people who were before us, they can now get some more information because they ain't even realized they was doing some certain things wrong for so long.
Right.
So it'll be now your time to stand to say, hey, this is what's up, because there are injustices.
Okay. So last question, then we'll wrap it up, and hopefully I really want to get inside to get another interview later on.
Yeah.
What's next for BahamianTrae? What could we expect next from you?
What could be expected next is a project.
Okay.
It's gonna be a project. I can't say when.
Okay.
But I'm working right now on some stuff, and
Great.
I feel like it's gonna be something that people are gonna really enjoy because I always wanted to have a body of work. So this is gonna be something that I think people are gonna really appreciate, and they're gonna really hold on close to this one.
Right. Okay. Most definitely. Whenever it comes up, you hit us Hip-Hop Bahamas. We
Most definitely, babe.
We appreciate you letting us come down and do this interview.
Babe. I appreciate y'all for giving me the opportunity to at least have a voice and say something,
problem,
and I really appreciate that. Hey, it's your boy BahamianTrae, and you tuning in right now to Hip-Hop Bahamas 242. That's how the thing go.
Yeah, you know, it's your boy King for you. You're now rocking with Hip-Hop Bahamas.